Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 111 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing excellent, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a good week for anyone new here. Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do it for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with you guys, to go through the same flow you guys do when you do your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight or address, just feel free to leave it in the comment section. We'll do our best to get to it. And I always make sure I mention our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Let's jump right into it. Actually, before I forget, we got to announce our show. So we got StreamYard Connect starting back up relatively soon. So keep an eye out for that. StreamYard Spotlight Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern with Dana and Kelsey, a great show about you guys, about highlighting StreamYard users and how they're having success with live streams. We got Daniel doing Tech Talks Tuesdays at 11 a.m., live stream reviews Saturdays at noon Eastern. And then, of course, Coffee with the Ducks, a new show where Dana and Jorge interview our employees, which is lots of fun. And, of course, tons of awesome streams from our partners across our various social channels. So be sure to check those out. We have one cool question here from PS Viewer saying, hey, I'm a blind user of StreamYard and wondering about labels on the comments section. Maybe you want to touch on that, Dan. If I remember correctly, I think everything is accessible as far as if you're using something like VoiceOver.
Well, yeah, we definitely try to make things as accessible as physically possible. So I'd be curious, maybe let us know which part is not accessible. Like if there's certain aspects of the comments that are accessible, like can you not read the comments? Or yeah, just let me know. We're always trying to make it as accessible as possible.
We have Chow. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Saying Boa Nita. It's cool seeing people from all over the world tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. IRC Adventure says, I have a request. Could you make the screen share have a default audio checked instead of left unchecked? Missed it 3 times now where my screen share didn't share the intended music. We'd like to do that, IRC. Unfortunately, it is a bit of a limit when it comes to browsers where we're just not able to offer that right now. If we ever do have a downloadable version, maybe that would be an option. But for right now, unfortunately, we can't do that. Yeah,
that checkbox, or actually like the window that pops up when you share your screen where you choose the window, that's actually from Chrome. So there's only so much customization we can add there. And I don't think we can default it on. I can look again, like things are always changing. So it's worth a look. But yeah, I agree with you. It'd be nice to be able to default on.
Leticia says, I hope StreamYard plans an in-person conference this year. I would love to help. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, with the pandemic and stuff, I don't know when that will be possible, but as soon as it's possible, we would definitely love to do that. We are going to do lots of more virtual events this year, so that'll be lots of fun. We actually have one planned for International Women's Day, which is coming right up, so stay tuned for that.
Sweet.
Hey, Tangerine, always nice to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of comments about the haircut. Thank you guys. I did cut my hair, lost a lot of hair.
No kidding.
Randall says, where do your captions come from? That's that actually brings me to one of the topics, Randall. So thank you for that. That is, so LinkedIn Live. So LinkedIn Live recently added live captions, which is awesome. You want to quickly chat about that one, Dan?
For sure. Yeah. So if it's only for English speakers at the moment, and this is fully on LinkedIn's end. So we're not doing much other than turning them on for anyone that is an English speaker. So if you speak English, you will automatically get captions on LinkedIn now. And if you for some reason don't want captions, you can turn them off on LinkedIn, and your viewers can also turn them off, but really cool features. So you just automatically get live captions now. When somebody's scrolling through their feed on LinkedIn, they'll get captions. If they click on the video, they'll get captions. And it seems to work very well, at least in my test. Like captions is always a hard thing to get right. I think LinkedIn's done a good job with it.
Very cool.
And I do think they are rolling it out to other languages as well. It's just for now it's English speaking only.
John says, hey, Geige and Dan, StreamYard is getting better and better. I've co-hosted over 90 shows using StreamYard since March. Love it. Thanks so much, John. Super cool to hear that you've hosted. That's quite a number of shows. That's fantastic.
That's a lot. Yeah.
See what else we have here. Thank you for all the haircut comments. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Michael, thank you for all you've created for us. Of course, Michael, thanks so much for your feedback. We really appreciate it. Bad Movie Night says, any chance of an audio mixer being added? Love StreamYard, but find it difficult to even out volumes without seeing their levels. Yeah, Bad Movie Night. This is actually something we asked about. I don't remember if it was last town hall or the one before, but it's definitely feedback we've gotten, especially for podcasters that are trying to figure out when someone's loud and someone's quieter. So it's something we're thinking about and trying to figure out the best way to do it. We'd love if it was something we could just automate, where just in the background we just automatically chose the levels. I know for many people, you just want to be extra sure and actually hear it yourself. So it is something we're considering. So thanks for your feedback there. Darren says, please let me change the camera from the main screen with some basic transitions. So, I mean, you do have layouts you can change, but I guess if you mean switching from camera to camera, Darren, we don't have many options there. You can change it in the settings, but appreciate the feedback. It's something we're open to. First thing we'd probably add is just the ability to share multiple cameras. Right now, you're a little bit limited as far as, you kind of have to have 2 separate studios open to get different camera angles, unless you're using something like an A10 Mini is one of them, like the camera mixers, which is becoming more and more popular. Those things are pretty powerful. It's basically similar to a Rodecaster, but for video. Basically, you can hook in various camera angles, and you have physical buttons on this device that you can switch between different camera angles, which it's pretty expensive, but it is a pretty good solution.
Yep.
Steven says, would love you to be able to help. Is there a way of linking my overlays with host and guest view? So when I change views, the overlays change as well. That's a good question, Steven. So, the closest thing you can do, which I wouldn't recommend just because it's a bit clunky and requires someone really being active, but I have seen people do it where they'll basically have a co-producer changing it at the same time, which is admittedly not a great solution. But to answer your question directly, no, like right now it's designed where you just sort of choose your overlay and that's your set overlay. Again, definitely something, we're open to. I don't know if we would do it where we tie it to the overlays. There would be something more involved where you actually fully customize, something like a theme or something where you just have more control over what each layout's going to look like. But again, don't have any concrete dates or anything or info on what exactly that would look like. But it's a common request that we're certainly thinking about. Let's get to some of the other. We do have some other tiny announcements. So LinkedIn Live Captions was one of them. Another one that is actually it's not like a flashy change, but it's definitely a nice quality of life change. Is downloading for recordings are much faster now. You've probably seen for a long time we had a message like, "Hey, we're working on making this faster," and now it actually is quite a bit faster, specifically for videos. I think it's actually, you mentioned, Dan, about 4 times faster when you're downloading the full video from StreamYard.
Yeah, and still working on making it faster. So we still have that message. We're always trying to make it faster. So I think we can squeeze out more than this even. But yeah, if you do the show and then you want your video recording, roughly 4 times faster to kind of create it in the background, and then you need to download it to your computer. But it should save you a few minutes if you got a long show. And yeah, I do think we'll be able to get it even faster.
Awesome. Also wanted to, we're a bit late, but wanted to welcome Grant and Jared to the team. They joined us on the customer support team. So some of you may have talked to them already. They're doing an awesome job. So welcome Grant and Jared. The other tiny change, we mentioned it before, the new, not specifically this, but we were talking about the new page experience for Facebook. So I don't think very many people are on it. So likely doesn't apply to you, but there were some changes when Facebook rolled it out as far as things like being able to comment and some stuff with the integration. And there were some small issues there just with the changes dealing with the changes with Facebook. But just want to mention that those have now been resolved. We'll also be sending out an email just to those who were affected by it.
So partially resolved, I would say. So still working on some of them. But yeah, biggest one was a scheduling issue. So like Facebook's been having issues with scheduling only for people that are on this new page experience, which is a very small percentage. You'll probably know if you're on it or not. But for people on the experience, there was some issues with scheduling. I think we've resolved those, just working, kind of going back and forth with Facebook. But then there's also an issue where you can't comment from the studio for the new page experience. And Facebook is, as far as I know, working on adding that. They just don't have it yet. So we just have a custom error message saying like, hey, right now you need to go to Facebook and post the comment. Hoping they'll have it before they really start rolling it out to more people. And should we explain what the new page experience is for anyone kind of scratching their head right now? Like, what are they talking about?
I'm going to struggle to explain it. Do you have
okay, so I can try to explain it. Okay. Basically, the new page experience it's just a new thing. It's a new format for pages. So it's like an opt-in. You know how when Facebook updated their kind of experience recently, like which Facebook suddenly looked way different? It's sort of like that. It's like an opt-in thing where they'll ask you like, hey, do you want to try out this new experience? And I think it's only a very small percentage of people have it so far, but slowly ramping it out. And basically what it is pages are treated slightly differently. So I think they're treated a little more like profiles. That's like the main sentiment, is they're treated a little more like profiles, which means I think you can message people as a page, whereas you can never really do that before. I think it's those types of changes. I don't know like what's all involved with it as far as in what ways is it different than it was before, but I think the general thing is pages are treated slightly more like profiles now, although still maintaining like the uniqueness of the page. So it's sort of like a cross between the two is my understanding. And the people that are on this experience are having more issues than others just because I think it is so new from Facebook.
Joe Dog has a cool suggestion. Still want to toss the idea of dashboard organization for weeks where you have several shows scheduled. So this is something we're working on improving, Joe Dog. So I'd be curious what kind of stuff, what kind of options you'd want as far as organizing it. Like, is it something as simple as just like sort by date or created, or what kind of stuff would you be looking for there to help you organize it? Would be super curious to hear that. Let's see here. Albert says, having issues with SY activating audio and PowerPoint with Microsoft Edge. Is this a known issue? Audio did not work during church service. Someone used the share video as an option. Not 100% sure, Albert, but appreciate the note there. We'll look into it. Another option too, that's if you want more quick feedback, support is dealing with more of these things on a regular basis. So if you reach out to them, they might already have an answer for you there on whether or not that's an issue.
Yep.
We have another small announcement. Just to note, so that not new announcements, but in case you missed it, we do now have a couple new features, not one smaller, one's bigger. So video sharing, I'm sure you guys have already seen it by now, but you now have the option when you click share screen to, instead of just share the screen, you can actually share longer videos of any length. So if you're talking through, a long form video and you want to scrub through it, it's a great option there. And then also network indicator. Curious if you guys have run into that at all. We added a basically just a symbol so you and your guests know if your network's having some issues. Small change, but it is nice that especially if you're doing record only, where you're maybe just making a long video and you don't actually know your network, and then you discover afterwards that you were breaking up and stuff. It's good to have an actual indicator of what's happening there.
Yeah.
One question we did have for you guys was on the analytics front. So it's been a while since we chatted about analytics, and we're thinking through what kind of stuff we'd want to add there. So we're just curious what kind of stuff you'd want to see and what the biggest advantages would be outside of what you'd see. Obviously Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn have their own set of analytics on each of those platforms. So curious what the main value is and what the main things you'd be looking for outside of those platforms. Like, is it mostly just analytics around, how many viewers you had throughout the live stream? Is it more so, what was my total views post even after the live stream as well, not just live? Just curious what kind of stuff is important to you and what would be most useful on the analytics side.
Cool. Yeah, and if there's anything really unique you'd like to see.
Let's see here. Tony said, anyone having issues replying in the page group? So you can't actually comment to groups. That's right, Dan. You can't comment inside of groups from StreamYard, right? If you're live streaming to a group.
Correct.
Yeah. Swift Chaser says total views and total comments all in one place would be nice. Yeah, that's a good point. That's one that I would actually use a lot, is for past broadcasts, being able to see all the comments that happened during that live stream. We'll have to double check what we're able to do there as far as storing the comments, but definitely understand that one.
Yeah, at least the count. But
right, the count. Yeah. G23 says average views and durations. Thanks so much, G23. Dave says would be great on a per broadcast basis to allow a guest to connect their social media credentials so the broadcast can go to some of their properties. Yeah, that's a super cool idea, Dave. One thing that is a bit of a challenge, or potentially a challenge, is just having duplicate content. If the exact same content is going out on the same platform, each platform is a little bit different. I know some don't have the immediate detection that there's the same content going out. Some are okay with it, some aren't. But I totally agree. It'd be an awesome feature to have. Just got to figure out how to navigate it and whether or not it's something we can actually offer. Yeah. As an alternative, one thing that we are thinking just to improve in general is just making it easier for your guests to just share the stream, because that's obviously, safe because it's not duplicate content. So just giving them more features around, when they join the stream, like, hey, you can actually share this to your own channel rather than actually multi-streaming it. But multi-streaming it, I agree, would be really cool. David says, would love to have a feature to star comments on the director side when I have a show with tons of comments rolling in, and when the time is right to show them. Yeah, David, that's that usually people refer to it as pinning, have been referring to it as pinning comments. Definitely something on the list that we'd like to add. Personally, I would definitely use it. So it's definitely on the list. And then in the more short term, we are making improvements to the chat in general. So right now there is the restriction where you'd only run into this if you get a lot of comments, but we only store right now like the last, what it is, Dan, like 200 comments or something like that.
Yeah, we store a lot. We're basically just making it where you'll be able to access older ones or make it a little more accessible for people that have a ton of comments. Yeah. And the next step could be some kind of pinning, or we're always trying to think like, what are the cleverest ways we can do this where it's as simple as possible to use and solves exactly what your problem is. So yeah, we're definitely working on this one.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's not a direct solution for that, David, but it will be a lot better. And that, part for me right now, it's like missing out on the old comments. So it'll be infinitely scrollable and you'll be able to find everything there. But pinned comments also on the agenda. Eddie says, can StreamYard stream in multiple Facebook business pages at the same time? Yep, you can absolutely do that, Eddie. Christian says, number of viewers and engagement levels throughout. Thanks, Christian. Let's see what else we have here. Do good would like text to speech donations. Thanks for the suggestion, Do good. That one's doesn't come up surprisingly often. I'd be curious how many other people would be interested in stuff like that. John says, I like the Twitch analytics emailed after a show. Similar from StreamYard would be nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well, John. Thanks for the suggestion there. Just a summary of like, how long you're alive and how many viewers you had. Absolutely.
Cool.
Bunyamin says, hey, Geige, are you streaming this to LinkedIn via StreamYard? Yeah, of course. We're live via StreamYard to LinkedIn. David says, normalized analytics across all platforms is great. Good to know. Bunyamin also asking, is a newly introduced feature? No, we've been integrated for LinkedIn with LinkedIn for a while. It is still application only, so not everyone has access to LinkedIn Live, but we have been like an integrated studio with LinkedIn probably over a year now, right? It's been a while. Tristan says, it's nearly time, I reckon, for more fun from hashtag the yard. Maybe referring to the giveaway. Tristan, we will be doing a giveaway in a little bit here.
Probably right at the end.
David says, Geige, will you look into adding social media icons for us to show our guests their social media links on the screen bar? So maybe, David, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you're meaning that like for the nameplates, essentially, like it'd be on my nameplate would have my name and then some links to like my Twitter or my YouTube. Is that what you're referring to, David? If so, definitely understand how that could be useful.
Yeah, I'm picturing like the name in the bottom corner also says like, Dan, and then here's my Twitter handle or something. That's cool.
Dave says, downloading comments in CSV file after broadcast would be great. Thanks for answering my other question. Of course, happy to answer questions. Yeah, that'd be another super cool one. Again, it's also similar to what I was mentioning about storing via analytics, whether or not we're actually allowed to make it accessible via CSV. But if we are, certainly something we'd like to add. I'd be curious, Dave, if there's anything else. It's not, your question isn't directly related to integrations, but if there's anything integration-wise that you'd be interested in as well, as far as like schedule a broadcast that automatically goes out to something like Slack so other people on your team know about it. I'd be curious if there's anything there you're interested in as well.
Cool.
Had a kind of a random question for you guys, but it's been a long time, so we're curious how many of you are using Facebook polls. It was released a super long time ago, and we never really integrated with it because it didn't seem like very many people were using it, and it hasn't come up much. But just curious how many of you are regularly using it and whether or not that's actually something you would use.
Yeah, it was one of those things Facebook launched, and I think some people use it. A lot of people probably don't know it's even out there.
Yeah, maybe it's not even there anymore. I'm honestly not 100% sure. I think it is, but let us know. Donald says how to add emoji in banners. So we need to improve this, Donald, because emojis are definitely fun to add. So right now we don't actually have, like, I know some sites have, I don't know what the technical term is, maybe an emoji picker or something, but we don't have that, but you can do it. And the way you would do it is basically you just Google the emoji. So just Google some site that has the emojis, or on computers, I think there's
Mine command. Oh, my keys are all like mapped from Macs to different formats. I think it's a command option space on Macs. I think pulled it up, or if it's not command, it's control option space. Someone can correct me. That'll type those 3 keys. It'll pop up the emoji picker. Not the easiest thing in the world, but
yeah. But basically, Don, so yeah, you can either copy and paste them in, or on your computer figure out how to pop up emojis and then do it that way. Let's see here. Randall says, I started with StreamYard LinkedIn back on October 8th, 2019. Yeah, I think you're one of the first, Randall. Thank you very much. Ministerio says, a way to create a playlist of video for me to play one after the other would be great. Good to know. One option, it's not exactly the same, Ministerio, is with video share, you can't actually queue them up. So like say you wanted to share, 3 long form videos, you can actually share all 3 of those and then switch between them. Diego says, sorry guys, the pillow and mug are mine tonight. LOL. Good luck, Diego. Hope you win.
Huge confidence.
Avery says, any news or updates on individual audio tracks for each participant would be great to mix the show offline. That is actively being worked on, Avery. Julie says, would be useful to ban people from certain destinations. I get a lot of scammers on my broadcast, and as fast as I can ban them, others come on. Most of them come from one country.
Interesting.
So by destinations, maybe you mean the countries themselves, Julie, but we do have, it looks like you already know about the banning. Like in StreamYard, you can actually ban the comments, but it sounds like they're coming in very quickly. So for Facebook, you are on Facebook, so maybe you're streaming for Facebook. So Facebook actually does have the ability to limit what countries can view your page. So Facebook, it's not super easy to navigate the settings for Facebook pages, but if you Google it, Facebook, like if you type in Facebook page geo restriction, I'm sure you'll find some detailed instructions, and you can actually do that. It's not related to StreamYard, but that will work. And then you might also, it kind of sucks having to ban an entire country. Like you might want to look into, like there are some decent moderation options in Facebook where you can just ban certain keywords and stuff. So those comments will just never surface. So you might want to look into each one of the when I say that, platforms, each one of the platforms has some pretty deep custom options for dealing with a lot of that stuff. So you might want to check that out as well.
Yep. Hopefully the platform, the country that you're banning isn't also where all your viewers are, because then that is where it gets a little tricky. But if it is like all your viewers are in this country or these countries, and there's this other specific country, then geo banning it might be the best way to do it.
Donald says, actually I had to use a separate service because FP polls are inconvenient to use. Good to know.
Yeah, that was kind of my experience.
2 similar questions here from Star Wars Espanol and David related to sharing images. Add some way to share images with the ability to make it like a slideshow with smooth transitions. That would be awesome. Yeah, we'd love that too, Star Wars, especially since like right now, our suggested way to do that is to just use something like screen share with another monitor to cycle through them. But totally understand that a lot of people just want to do a stream with only one monitor. And when you're doing that, it's kind of inconvenient having to not be able to see what's going on in StreamYard and what's going on with the slideshow. So certainly something we'd like to improve. We're just about, I was not tracking the time. We're almost out of time. Do you want to, should we do the giveaway, Dan?
Let's do it. Let me screen share it.
So today we'll be giving away, our pillows are actually on back order, so it won't be a pillow tonight. I don't have all my screenshots unfortunately involve the pillow, but we'll be giving away a mug and a sweat. No, the sweatshirts are all on. We're giving away a mug and a black T-shirt. That's what we'll be giving away.
We're sold out, eh?
Yeah, we're sold out, but they'll be back soon. People love the pillow, which is awesome.
Cool, popular merchandise.
So for anyone who is new here, the way this works is if you just type in hashtag, I'll put up the banner here. If you type in hashtag the yard, you'll be eligible to win, and we'll randomly pick someone from the audience. So we'll give you guys a bit of time to get your hashtag the yards in.
You almost don't need to put up the hashtag the yard banner now because we already have over 100 comments with it.
Hopefully we got some new people in there that need the instructions. Julie says, when using StreamYard in a private group, will the StreamYard video stay private? It's a good question. So there's a few things to consider here. So in the group, only people in that group, unless you make the group public, will be able to see the video. So in that sense, yes. But there's also, if you're on the paid version of StreamYard, you have the recording on StreamYard. But again, that's only accessible to you and anyone else on the account. So yeah, to answer your question, they'll stay private so long as you don't change the privacy of the group itself.
Yep.
All right, we have enough. Are they still rolling in, Dan, or should we go ahead and?
Comments. I think we're good to go here. Ready?
All right. Yes. Good luck, everyone.
Let's do it.
Cool, Cheryl. Welcome to the stream. I hope you win. Congrats, David. You've won a StreamYard mug and a black T-shirt. We'll have Dana reach out to you to get your info so we can ship it your way. But congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the mug and the T-shirt. We're just about out of time here, but we probably have time for one more question. So let me see if I can find one. Lots of questions about the giveaway tool. So at some point we would like to offer it. It's just, right now we don't have it available. You got to have the comment pinning. There's so many hashtag the yards. I'm trying to find if there's the last question here. DJ says, hashtag question, how do you use GIFs with green screen? So the green screen, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but the green screen itself, I don't think you can use GIFs with. Is that right?
Think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
So maybe double check DJ. But right now, green screen's just with static images. We might change that in the future. You could, of course, I'm assuming this isn't your question, but you could, of course, be using the green screen with a static image and use an overlay that's a GIF. But that's, of course, slightly different. But thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Let me get rid of this banner here. This was episode 111 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We'll see you guys next week at the same time. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's so much fun to chat with you guys every week.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. See you next week.